So 2019 has had its ups, it's had its downs. We've had great success as a business, but it's also had its fair share of challenges. And the one thing that I figured out, not just with my business, but with every other single business that I work with over the last year, is that you tend to be your business's biggest problem. Now, I don't mean to start like that and just be a total downer and probably tell you something that most of you already realize, but it is true. I am 100% the case in my own business, but then again, I'm kind of the boss. So if there's issues, they usually tend to start and end with me. Now, another thing that we all have the same problems in our businesses, whether it's you, whether it's employees, hiring the right employees, whether it's finances, whether it's knowing when and how to scale, whether it's marketing, regardless of what it is, we all have the same problems. And I'm sure there's a lot of you sitting there going, no, that's not true. My problems are completely different than most other business owners. No, they're not. They're all centered around some of the main things, whether it's finances, employees, scaling, marketing is one of the biggest ones. We all have the same problems. They are usually just at different levels. A CEO has the same problems as a starting business. They're just at a much, much higher level. So maybe they're talking in millions or billions of dollars versus hundreds and thousands. They have to hire the right people and put the right people in roles to help run their company just like you do. Even as solopreneurs, if you're the only person in your business, employees are a massive issue for you. And the reason being is you need to understand who you need to hire. You need to understand what you need to outsource, who you need to outsource that to. That's an employee issue. And over the last couple of years, we have put all of our time and effort into this channel dealing with marketing and Google Ads. The problem with that is I sit down with clients and we start working on their Google Ads, and then we start working on every other business problem that they have. Because I have literally been inside hundreds of businesses, and I've heard these people complain about these things over and over and over again. And there obviously is a major pattern. But as time has gone on, I've also started asking questions. Well, how did you deal with that? How did you overcome this? How did you, get around that? And I started taking notes, and I started to realize there was a pattern there as well. So as I started dealing with these businesses, I'd say, all right, you know what? Well, let's come back to the Google Ads. What's your problem over here? And then we would work on solving that one. Because as a consultant, I can go in and I can provide solutions. Now, whether they take those solutions to heart and put them into effect is a completely different ballgame. And that is the reason why I started to make this video today. I've gone into clients' businesses and I've suggested changes. And in my mind, they are as simple of changes as can be. Somebody just has to implement them. Now, that is a big word that a lot of people, I hate to say, implement. Because there are a lot of problems when it comes to implementation of new procedures, new policies, new software or technology. You people know who I'm talking to right now. Sometimes that stuff scares us. It scares us to death. But for those of us who embrace it, understand just how easy it can make our life. Sure, is it going to be a total pain in the butt to set it up? Sometimes yes, other times no. But I go in and I suggest these changes, and I can show them not to necessarily the exact dollar figure, but I can show them just how much they will save or just how much they can improve their business just by making this one simple change. And I usually make a list of them. Now, I give them that list, and my job is done. I'm walking away, and the whole time we're talking, they're nodding their head. Oh, that's a great idea. Oh, I'm going to do that. Oh, that sounds awesome. The problem with that is very seldom does that ever happen. And I can go back in 6 months and have another meeting with them, and they're like, well, I was going to get around to it, but this came up, and this came up. And then I just go back and I just write on a piece of paper, this is how much those little changes cost you or could have saved you. And that usually opens their eyes. I'm not trying to do it to be mean. I'm just trying to point out that they are the person getting in the way of their own business. And some of these people are dear, dear friends of mine. And these people, I would give the shirt off my back. I absolutely would. But they know this problem too. But even though they know it, are they going to make a change? I don't know. I sure hope so. Because I want to see them succeed more than anybody. I mean, I've got a relationship with these people, 20, 30 years in some cases. And I don't want to see them hurt. I don't want to see them in pain. I want to see them succeed. And, to make these changes where people stop taking advantage of them, or, whether it's employees and hiring the right employees and making sure that financially they're doing the right things with, their marketing budgets, and making sure that they're figuring out what's working and what's not and how to do that. But the one thing that I cannot fix in any business is you. I can sit here and say, you need to do this. And here's why. I can say, you should do this because of this. I can say, you know what, if you don't do this, this massive thing is going to happen. And more times than not, nothing happens. Not unless they have somebody who will do it for them. And as a business owner, there's nothing wrong with not wanting to figure out the technology. There's nothing wrong with not understanding it and wanting somebody just to do it for you. But the biggest issue with that is that they won't even take the time to look for that person to do it for them, or to sit down and explain to their assistant why this needs to be done and why it needs to be a priority. It usually gets left on that little list and it thrown away or shuffled under some papers, or you know what, if I don't see it, it doesn't exist. All right, so sorry, I'm getting distracted. I realized my office is under construction, and I just realized that the Home Depot bucket is in the frame. What are you going to do? So back to the point. I cannot do it for them. So maybe you're wondering, how do I overcome this? What do I need to do to change it? So, I go into these clients and we sit there and we start working out, all right, what is the problem with the business? And we talk about employees, okay? And we talk about marketing. And we talk about finances. And let's just stick with these big three, because I think these big three give us all heartache. They can all be issues. These are the big three that we run into constantly. So let's just stick with them. There are obviously plenty of others. But then we start talking about, all right, there's employees, and then there's this problem, and this problem, and this one, and this one. And they all lead to this: money. Now, whether that's money lost or money gained, that is where it all leads to. Money lost because maybe they're stealing from you. Money lost because maybe they're just inefficient and they can't get their crap done in time. Maybe it's money gained. Maybe it's salespeople that, you know what, oh my God, I had this salesperson that's an absolute rock star that, we pay him well, but he makes us a lot of money. Regardless of what it is, it always leads to money. Now, marketing. Marketing, same thing. So we talk about getting leads and where to put our marketing dollars in our budgets and what to do here and how many services do we need to help us do this? How many people do we need to help us do this? What is the most effective? All of it leads to money, right? So we're sitting there and we're looking at, okay, money gained or money lost? Typically, with most people, it's money lost. They have no idea where their marketing dollars are going. They have no idea how to measure it. But what we try to do is we try and set them down and show them. And guess what? No implementation. There's that word again. I know, scary. Then finances. All right, how should we be using our money in our business? Should we be using it to grow? Should we be using it to hire more employees? Should we be using it to implement new technologies or strategies to maybe so we need less employees? Maybe it just makes our business easier to run. Maybe it gets you in a situation where you are working on the business versus in the business. But regardless, all of it leads to money. Money, yeah, same word. Because we're paying all this money in, bringing our profits, our income down, or we're losing all this money, which does the same thing, or we're investing money, which brings our profits or our income up. But it all comes down to this. So when I talk to clients, I try and show them in dollar figures exactly what's been going on. All right, so you've got this problem and it's been going on for how long? And okay, let's put a dollar value to that. And that just makes people cringe, right? They don't want to hear it. They don't want to see it. They want nothing to do with it. If it's sight unseen, it doesn't exist, especially when it comes to bad employees, stealing money, or being inefficient, or they just don't want to deal with it. And guess what? Who can change that? Not me, not anybody else, but the business owner who's very unhappy because it's costing him money. But the only person that can change that is if they take themselves out of the equation. Now, I'm not talking about doing anything drastic here, but what I'm saying is they need to realize it. Business owners need to understand this is not personal. This is a business problem. And guess what? We all have them. Guess what else? Not a lot of us knew about these problems. When I went to college, I got a business degree. I've run other businesses. Not one time did anybody in college say you're going to run into this problem, and this problem. They don't teach that stuff. They teach about, oh, here's how you do credits and debits in accounting. They do not teach how to run a business. They do not teach the problems that you're going to deal with, because as a business owner, you are a professional problem solver. But the biggest goal, the biggest thing that I found that people need to get to is they need to simplify those problems. You can take and you can simplify a lot of this stuff. It does not have to be that difficult. And going forward, that is what is going to be the biggest focus on our channel, is simplifying your business. Simplifying everything from how to do day-to-day tasks, how to deal with employees, especially how to do marketing. These are things that do not have to be that difficult. And over time, we start just piling things on. So let's use marketing as an example. How many of you out there probably have 5 to 10 different marketing tools, and I'll bet you don't even use half of them? You know, maybe they're analytics tools, maybe they're Google Ads reporting tools, maybe they are, email services that you're paying for that you haven't used in the last year. I'm guessing all of you have at least 2 or 3, at least, that you have not used in 6+ months, maybe a year. But guess what? You're paying for those every single month. But you don't want to see it. Out of sight, out of mind. And when somebody shows it to you, you just kind of like, I don't want to see that, because it's too difficult. It's $200 a month or $300 a month, and over a year it's $3,600 for the year, and I just wasted that money. And then we get down on ourselves. When we get shown the problems and mistakes that we're making, we tend to take it personally. We tend to take it and just be like, oh God, I'm such an idiot. How did I let myself get this way? This is what I hate. How did this happen? But once again, nobody showed us this. Nobody told us A, B, and C. Nobody told us that these things were going to happen. We have to figure it out on our own. And the one thing is, you can't take it personally. I'm sure you've heard the term, it's not personal, it's business. Every one of us as business owners need to implement that into our business itself. But we need to aim it at ourselves. We need to say, this is not personal, this is a business lesson. Or don't think of it as how much you've lost. Don't look at that number. Think of it as how much you are going to gain, or how much you're going to save each month moving forward. But once again, you have to realize it, and you have to take the action, and not just push it under a pile of papers and be like, no, I don't want to see it, don't want to deal with it, because it's a total mess up of mine, and I can't do that. We need to get out of the way. Not eliminate ourselves from the business, obviously, but we need to take ourselves out of it from a personal standpoint. A lot of these problems can be solved very, very easily, especially as a solopreneur or an entrepreneur. When you're talking to CEOs, it's a much bigger problem. There are a lot more moving pieces usually. But when it's a small business, it's a matter of taking the time, taking the effort, hiring the right person, or at least getting the right person in your office to figure this out so that you can stop wasting time, stop wasting money, and help take your business to the next level. So do me a favor. Just take one thing that has been bugging you about your business, the one thing that you haven't wanted to look at. Just even go into the bank account and just look at all of the expenses that you paid over the last month, and just look for one, just one that you can get rid of. Maybe just one of those mistakes, maybe just one of those expenses that you're like, why am I paying for that? And go cancel it. That one step can save you what? $200, $300, $400, maybe a couple $1,000s a year if it's like $200 a month service. Go in, take a look at it, fix it, and move on to the next problem. As professional problem solvers, that's what we do. That's what we have to do on a day in and day out business. But you can't look at it as something scary to see. You have to look at it as, holy crap, I just saved $2,400 just like that. And most of those problems can be solved, in an hour? So if I was to walk up to you and said, listen, I'll give you $2,400 for 1 hour of your time, would you do it? Of course we would. It'd be stupid not to. So do me a favor, if you liked the video or it helped you out in any way possible, hit that like button below. It really helps us in the eyes of YouTube. And also please hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon so you'll be notified of when we release new videos. So thanks a lot for watching. I hope I helped you out even just a little bit. And I look forward to talking to you a lot more about this in the future. We've got quite a few ideas like this to help simplify your business coming up, and I will talk to you in the next video. Thanks.